Hello there, everybody. Caught me trying to adjust my shirt. Anyway, hello there, everybody. Thank you so much for stopping by for your daily tarot video forecast. This forecast is for May 2nd. We are going to be pulling cards for each sign, and we will start with Aries to see what's coming up for you guys on May 2nd. We are using the Good Tarot today. That is the name of the deck, the Good Tarot. Okay. Aries, what you have showing up here is the Queen of Earth in reverse. The Fool card also in reverse. And the Nine of Air. So Aries, what you have going on here is that there is somebody that you have been very generous with, very open with, maybe even made yourself vulnerable to. And you have realized that doing that has not brought the expected results that you needed. You know, you haven't, by being generous with that person, it hasn't helped them to move forward at all. And so you have decided that you're going to hold back on that generosity. You're going to stop doing whatever that is that you would help them that actually is not helping them move forward. So you're going to pull back on that generosity. And it looks like you actually have decided previously to pull back on that generosity. And what's going on the second is that you are considering, okay, should I stay pulled back on that generosity? Should I start giving in that generous way again? What should I do? Is this doing what I need it to do by pulling back? And with this Fool card in reverse, this tells me that you, after thinking this through very carefully, you have decided to continue holding back with that generosity. Why is this happening? Why are you rethinking this? Because there's a lot of stress coming in. This other person that you were being generous with, that you've realized that it's actually not helping them, it's more hurting the situation than helping the situation, is giving you a lot of flack. And it's causing you to stress out. And that's what caused you to reconsider, should I stay held back on this situation or not? Okay, so that's for Aries, May the 2nd. Let's look at Taurus. If you guys can hear the dogs barking next door, I apologize. The neighbors recently just started leaving their dogs out in the yard all day long, and the dogs are getting used to life outside, I guess. They think that every time the wind blows a dandelion, it has to bark at it. So if you guys can hear that, my apologies. All right. Taurus for May 2nd. All right, so Taurus, you guys have the Page of Earth showing up in reverse, along with the Nine of Fire showing up in reverse, along with the Five of Fire. Okay. Taurus. Okay, with the Nine of Fire and the Page of Earth both showing up in reverse, this is telling me that you have some bad news about money or about material goods that comes into you on the 2nd that you were not expecting or not prepared for. And why is this happening? It seems to me like it's happening because you're kind of scattered all over the place. You may have financial commitments in all kinds of different places, and you may have just forgotten that this is going to be coming due, or maybe something happened with an investment and something came up as an expense, but this is something that's unexpected and you're not prepared for it. And the reason you're not prepared for it is because you have so many irons in the fire right now, Taurus, that you're trying to keep covered. All right, so that's for Taurus. Let's look at Gemini. This is going to be Gemini for May the 2nd. Thank you all for the thumbs ups, for sharing this video, for subscribing, and thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings from me. It's because of all of your support at every single level that I'm able to do what I love to do for my living. So it is genuinely appreciated. All right, Geminis, let's see what you have here. Gemini, High Priestess in reverse. Two of Water also in reverse. And the Eight of Fire showing up. Okay, so Geminis, with the High Priestess in reverse and the Two of Water in reverse, there's something going on where somebody in your sphere of influence has changed how they're acting towards you. So where they were very receptive and open to you before, now they're not so much. And I think this has you really confused because you don't know why the change happened. And why is this? Because there's lots of communication going back and forth. And because there is so much communication going back and forth, you're able to actually see the difference or the shift in that person's energy as they were dealing with you. And that's what's caused the confusion here. All right, so that's a Gemini. Hello, hello, Elle. Welcome. Glad you're here today, my dear. How are you? Next up, we're going to do Cancer. This is Cancer for May the 2nd. Vikram, welcome back. Welcome back. How are you today? Glad to hear you're fine. I'm fantastic. You know me, I woke up today. That makes it a good day. Glad to hear that, Vikram. Okay, let's see here. Who am I working on? This is Cancer that I'm reading for. You guys have the Strength card showing up in reverse. Six of Air showing up in reverse. That's a pretty cool card, isn't it? I like that card. It is in reverse, but so you can see it. And Seven of Water showing up in reverse as well. You're Gemini. So you just missed Gemini. You might have to scroll back a little bit to see that one. That's the last one I did. Okay, so let's see here. This is Cancer. Cancer with that Strength card and the Six of Air both coming up in reverse. I feel like what's going on here is that you're not holding on to your self-esteem very well. You're not feeling very good self-esteem. And part of that is that you're going back to a situation that you know was holding you back or dragging you down. And I think part of the reason you're going back is because your self-esteem isn't high enough for you to stand your ground. And it's kind of a vicious circle. Part of the reason that your self-esteem isn't high is because you're going back. And you're kind of, you know better. You know that your intuition is saying, don't do this. But you're doing it anyway because you feel like you aren't strong enough to do otherwise. And so this is kind of a vicious cycle with the self-esteem here and going back to whatever this was that was dragging you down or holding you back. Now, what's the trigger? Why is this happening? And this is happening because of the Seven of Water reversed. You are trying to do something to make your life better, either your lifestyle better or your life actually longer. So this really, this trigger doesn't really go with your actions here, honestly. The trigger is that you've realized there's something you can do to improve your life and you want to do that. But instead of doing that, you're going the opposite direction. You're going in a direction that you know is hurting you because you don't feel strong enough to actually do what you want to do, which is focus on something that leads you in a positive direction. Sheesh, I'm sorry, Cancer. You may want to work on self-esteem. All right, let's look at Leo. This is going to be Leo for May the 2nd. Okay, Leos. 3 of Air showing up in reverse. Empress showing up in reverse. 7 of Air showing up in reverse. All right. So let's see, Leos. What we have showing up here. This is kind of a contradiction of cards here. Okay, so Leos, with this 3 of Air in reverse plus the Empress in reverse, what we have going on here is that there is healing for some kind of heartache. You may be getting closure around some kind of situation or, final word that lets you know that, okay, some kind of situation is done and over. It doesn't have to be romantic, although it could be, but it could have to do with work or a pet or a hobby or something like that too. I think that you're not very happy about the idea that this situation is over, although you're happy to have closure because that does allow you to go ahead and move on. Why is this happening? Because of the 7 of Air in reverse. This just means that there was something going on that was not right, not making sense. And I think you addressed it head on and went, hey, what's happening here? Why are you acting like this? What's going on? Why are you saying these things? And whenever you got your answer, that's when you found out, oh, all right, well, there's no chance of moving this thing forward after all, whatever this thing is. So it's really you looking for the truth that brought this out. I mean, you did get the truth. Kind of painful, it looks like to me, Leos, and I'm sorry for that, but it is the truth that makes us free. And painful or not, this allows you to move on to something that's going to be more productive for you. All right, let's look at Virgo for May the 2nd. Okay, so Virgos, you guys have the 10 of Earth showing up in reverse. 5 of Air showing up in reverse. And the Call card showing up in reverse. Okay. Ten of Earth reversed and 5 of Air reversed just means that there's something going on that is impacting your sense of security right now. And with this 5 of Air, you're being called to be the peacemaker with it coming up in reverse. Either you're being called to be the bigger person and allow this dispute or argument or whatever this is that's causing some kind of unsettledness or chaos or insecurity, you're being called upon to be the one that lets that go. or you're being called upon to help somebody to get on the same page with somebody else. If you have two parties that are disagreeing, you may be the go-between, the mediator, trying to bring peace to this situation because it is so unsettling and disruptive. Why is this happening? This is happening because there was something that people were trying to do, people in your sphere of influence, and maybe yourself even was involved in this, that people were trying to get going forward again after a time of having it on the back burner. And they were not able, maybe you were not able to get this going forward again after being on the back burner because of all the chaos that comes in with that 10 of Cups in reverse. So you're just trying to get something going again. You're trying to bring peace, trying to get rid of that chaos so that this thing can get back rolling the way that it needs to. All right. So that's Virgos. Next up, let's look at Libra. And this is Libra for May the 2nd. If you guys can hear that dog next door, I apologize. The neighbors just started letting their dogs outside like all the time, and so they're barking at every little thing. They haven't gotten used to everything that happens outside, I guess. Anyway, Libra, let's look at your cards. All right, so we have the Ace of Water. We have the Sun card in reverse. And we have the 9 of Air showing up in reverse. I like that. Okay. Libras, with this Ace of Water right side up and the Sun card in reverse, what you've got is something new that you're really enjoying. This can be a new person that you've met that you really, really, really like. Can be somebody that has the potential to be a good new friend. But this is could even be like a hobby or an activity. But it's something that, if it's a hobby or an activity, it's something that you do with other people. And I think that you're really enjoying it a lot. Why is this happening? Because you've got the 9 of Air in reverse. Something was causing you to really stress out hard, and now you've let go of that stress. And when you let go of that stress, then you were able to open up and find things that you really enjoy or people that you really enjoy and things to actually do with them. All right. So that's for Libra for the 2nd. Let's look at Scorpio next. This is going to be Scorpio for May 2nd. Alrighty. Thank you guys for the thumbs ups, for sharing this video, and also to those of you ordering private readings from me. It's because of all your support at every level that I get to do what I love to do for my living. Okay, Scorpios. 10 of Earth showing up here, right side up. Messenger of Earth as well. And 7 of Air. Okay, so with the 10 of Earth and the Messenger of Earth, it looks to me like we are getting some kind of news about finances or about material goods. And this is something that we're feeling pretty comfortable in already. In fact, we are in the process of taking that thing to the next level. And this Messenger of Earth is coming in, letting us know that that is actually moving forward. So that's going well. But whatever it is that makes us feel secure and satisfied is moving to the next level. This messenger kind of confirms that for us. Why is this happening? Because of the 7 of Air. Now, in this case, I feel like the Seven of Air is because of strategy, because of planning, because of doing the things it takes to make certain things happen. So we've really been thinking out some kind of situation and how to add to our security. And because of that strategy and putting that strategy into place, now we're getting this good news saying, okay, look, things are moving forward. All right. So that's for us Scorpios. Thank you, whoever did that thumbs up. I appreciate it. All righty. Next is for Sagittarius, May the 2nd. Thank you to those of you who are ordering private readings from me. It's always fun to get to know you guys on a one-on-one basis, or to get to catch up with you guys on a one-on-one basis. Either way, always fun. La da da da. Sagittarius. Let's take a peek. This is the Good Tarot, by the way. That's actually literally the name of this tarot deck. The Good Tarot. Sagittarius, you have the Hermit. Look at that door with all those keys. Isn't that interesting? I might have to meditate on that card. Looks like a fun one. Wheel of Fortune in reverse, Sagittarius. And the Tower in reverse. Sagittarius. With this Wheel of Fortune in reverse, to me, this kind of talks about all the downtime that we've had, or all the struggle. For those of us who are essential workers, maybe not so much downtime. I know quite a few essential workers. But for this time of struggle that we've had throughout the world, I think the Wheel of Fortune really is talking about that and the impact that that's had on you personally, Sagittarius. And the idea that this time frame has made you really think about some things that you maybe wouldn't have thought about before if you hadn't had the alone time, if you had been able to go out and have as much social time as you used to. And so you have a lot of new insights. All those new keys hanging across the front of that door are really popping out to me as I look at this card. I think you have a lot of new keys to understanding yourself and to understanding people around you, maybe even society and your culture that you're in. So even though this has really been a difficult time, that's allowed you a chance to really get to know some things that you probably wouldn't have had the chance to do before. And why is this happening? Because the Tower is in reverse. And when the Tower is in reverse, this talks about a time that is really frightening, basically. It's a time where things get turned on their head. It's a time of great disruption. Things that made us feel secure and like we were going to have indefinitely are suddenly and unexpectedly taken away from our experience. And so that can make us catch our breath. We have to get our feet back under us after that. And I think that, we've already been through that. We've caught our breath. We're getting our feet back under us. We're starting to understand how to deal with the situation, how to move forward with it. And with this Tower in reverse, it's showing that as we move forward, we're actually coming out of this better than whenever we first went into this whole situation. And so with this card coming up as our key as to why this is happening, this tells me that even though we were going through a hard time, Sagittarius, these insights actually help you to move forward in a much more positive, more productive way than what you ever would have moved forward in before. This is part of the overcomer story or overcoming story for you, Sagittarius, as we move through this time in the world, is getting those insights. Whoop, whoop, whoop. I like that, actually. It's deep, it's heavy, it's not easy. It's not an easy path, but it's worth it. And this is basically showing you that it's worth it. It's putting you in a better position than you were in before. All right. Let's look at Capricorn next, and this is going to be Capricorn for May the 2nd. Thank you for the thumbs ups, guys. I appreciate that. Also, thank you for sharing these videos if you find them helpful. Other people may find them helpful as well. And I do these free videos in the hopes of helping as many people as possible. So the more people they get put in front of, the happier I am. Thumbs ups also tells YouTube that these are good, and so they show them to other people as well. So thank you for those. Okay, Capricorn, let's see what you've got. Okay, so Capricorns, you guys have the Temptation card showing up in reverse. You also have the Tower card showing up right side up. And you have the Three of Air card showing up here. Okay, Capricorns. I did not say okay, Google. Be quiet. Okay. So what we have showing up for you, Capricorns, Temptation in reverse and the Tower. What is going on here? Capricorns, I do think that there's something going on in your life where something that made you feel secure before has suddenly and unexpectedly been removed from your experience. And because it has been removed from your experience, it does put you in a situation where you're really tempted to fall back on some old coping mechanisms that you might have developed in the past. With this temptation card in reverse, I don't think you go back to old unhealthy coping mechanisms, though. I think the temptation is there, but I think that you decide to bypass that temptation. It may be a struggle. The fact that it shows up says, like I said, the temptation is there, but with it being in reverse, you're not biting that apple. You're not biting that apple in spite of what's going on in your life. Okay? Now, also, the rest of the story with this is when something like that does get suddenly and unexpectedly removed from our lives, it's typically because we're feeling so secure there that we're not really looking for anything to replace it where we could grow or expand. And so we're stagnating in this situation with the tower. So when Sacred Spirit takes this tower and removes it from our lives, that is just the beginning of the story. Next, we go out and we find what can we find that's going to replace the security that the tower brought before. And as we find that security, then we are able to then we are able to move forward, and we actually end up better off than we were before. And if I'm a little distracted, it's because my roommate's cat is sitting outside on the furnace unit making the dogs next door go totally crazy as she meows for me to let her in, which I can't do right now because I'm on a live video. So, and these dogs go crazy anyway all the time. Now that I just know what their excuse is. Anyway, let's get back to Capricorn. Why is this happening? We've got a Three of Air. Because there's something going on that's causing you to feel heartache or heartbreak. Okay. Could very easily be the situation with that something being removed from your life. But it's because you're feeling that heartache that you're feeling that temptation, but you're resisting the temptation. And I'm glad that you are. Because nobody, it's not beneficial to go back to old coping mechanisms that we already know don't work, even as comfortable as they may seem. Okay. All right, so let's look at Aquarius next. This is going to be Aquarius for May the 2nd. Okay, Aquarius. All right, what you have is the Ace of Earth in reverse. Three of Air in reverse, and the Five of Air. Okay, so Aquarius, here's what's going on with you guys. I think that you're giving somebody a second chance. They may have broke your heart before, but you guys are getting together and talking, and you're getting on the same page so that you understand where each of you is coming from. And you're finding some clarity around that situation that you didn't have before, and that's causing you to give somebody a second chance. And why is all of this happening? Because you guys had a fight. There was a fight before. And now that this fight is, and notice this fight is not the tower. It wasn't the end of a relationship. It was just a fight. Probably a bad fight for it to show up here. But now you're giving this person a second chance as they explain where they were coming from. Okay. So that's Aquarius. Next up, we have Pisces. Excuse me. And this is Pisces for May the 2nd. Thank you so much, all of you, for being here, for hanging out with me. Thank you for the thumbs ups and for sharing this video with others who may find it beneficial as well. Hopefully they will. And thank you for ordering private readings from me. Those are available either by phone or by Skype, your preference. La, da, da. Okay, Pisces, what do you have? Pisces, you have Patience showing up in reverse. You have the Page of Earth. By the way, this is tarot deck is called the Good Tarot. And then you have the Three of Water in reverse. Alrighty. Alrighty. So Pisces, Patience and the Page of Earth. You do have some kind of good news about money or about material goods that is coming into you, Pisces, on the 2nd. However, this is probably just good news. It's probably not money in your hand or in your bank account just yet. And you're really impatient with this good news because you're like, okay, that's great, but where's the money, honey? And then what we have here for the reason of why is we have the Three of Water in reverse. To me, this is coming up as delays. People who are trying to get this money to you are encountering some kinds of delays. I don't feel like this is intentional delays. It's just really annoying delays as your money makes it through the system to get to you, whichever system we may be talking about. Okay, so that's what we have coming up for you guys. Thank you so much, everybody, for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. I'll see you guys back here on the next video if I don't see you before that for a reading. Peace out.